The Browns are in New England looking to start a win streak for the first time since the 2023 season as they take on the Patriots Sunday afternoon. But they now have a third injury to report entering the game. On Saturday, quarterback Shedeur Sanders was added to the Browns injury report. He's dealing with back tightness. He's questionable for the game, joining tight end David Njoku, and defensive tackle Aiden Huntington is questionable. Njoku with a knee injury, Huntington in concussion protocol. The Browns elevated Bailey Zappi from the practice squad to the active roster as a precaution, but whoever is there at QB2 on Sunday, the Browns are looking to continue seeing growth from rookie Deion Gabriel as he gears up for his fourth NFL.
As the world turns in Cleveland, we just got word today that Shedeur Sanders will be out against the New England Patriots this week at home. Shedeur Sanders was the number 2 quarterback behind Deion Gabriel, but they just activated Bailey Zappi off of the practice squad, and it looks like, for all intents and purposes, that he will be the number 2 quarterback, citing a back injury.
The New England Patriots? Forget them for a second. Cleveland. Oh, Cleveland. You might want to brace yourself for this one. Just when everyone thought the Browns couldn't possibly outdo their own chaos, Jimmy Haslam went and dropped an injury report bomb so wild it had fans wondering if Shedeur Sanders even stepped on the field, or straight into a full-blown soap opera. Twitter went nuclear, Browns fans lost their minds, and before you could even refresh your feed, the internet turned it into a meme factory. Buckle up, because this saga just went from Cleveland drama to Hollywood madness in under a minute.
Shedeur, QB2, he said, nah, I'm gonna go with Deion Gabriel and elevate Bailey Zappi, who's been awful in the NFL. Now, this is organizational malpractice if I've ever seen it. And let's keep in mind, in these trade talks, the Jets are desperate. They're 0-7. Aaron Glenn does not want to be fired. He's a really good coach, but his quarterback play's been awful. When in the history of the NFL has a backup quarterback ever demanded a second-round pick? I can't think of a single situation. I'm in disbelief, and this might be NFL collusion, because there's no way you won't play him and you won't trade him, despite him looking better than the starter Deion Gabriel.
Fire the coach, fire the PR team, fire the football gods if you have to. This is peak Browns chaos. If you're enjoying the madness, hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you think. The Cleveland Browns cannot go a single week without finding a new way to break the internet. It's like the front office stares at the NFL schedule and says, what's the wildest headline we can drop today? Then boom, out of nowhere, Jimmy Haslam, the man who treats shocking decisions like a sport of his own, hits the big red button and sends the whole fan base spiraling. This time, he dropped an injury report so confusing, it felt more like performance art than actual football news. Shedeur Sanders, yes, that's Shedeur, the golden-armed college phenom who was supposed to be the Browns' next big thing, suddenly yanked from the QB2 spot. And the reason? An injury update that no one on earth seems able to explain. Let's be real, Cleveland's seen drama before. They've had quarterbacks rotate faster than playlist songs. But this one hits different.
Business is it when you've got a 5'9" quarterback running around and could twist an ankle, and Shedeur would have to play Sunday in Foxborough, and he's not getting any reps? That seems like bad preparation, no?
It does. You wouldn't question it if you know you had a backup.
If it was Kelly Holcomb, yeah, right. If it was, yeah, right. I wouldn't. It's not. It's a kid they haven't. He hasn't taken first-round team reps with anybody yet.
It's almost like, you know, the coach is saying, okay, you gave me 2 rookie quarterbacks. I'm going to prepare one of them, and we'll see what happens if he goes down.
It's like someone took the Browns' future, tossed it in a blender, hit puree, and called it strategy. The depth chart feels less like football and more like an episode of Guess Who, with Jimmy Haslam playing game show host. The news hit like a meteor crash. 1 minute, fans were hyped about Shedeur's preseason swagger, his confidence, his leadership, that smooth pocket presence, and the next minute, poof, gone. QB2 erased like the football gods decided Cleveland had smiled for too long. Haslam apparently approved the move after glancing at a new injury report, which, in Browns language, usually means someone coughed in practice. And now the trainers are calling an emergency summit. And the best part? The fans are now doing their own detective work online. Twitter's turned into a virtual hospital wing. You've got people zooming in on sideline photos, comparing tape on Shedeur's wrist, breaking down replays frame by frame like they're analyzing the Zapruder film. Everyone's a medical expert now. degrees from YouTube University, majoring in football anatomy.
Straight. The Jets asked the Browns about Shedeur's availability to be traded, and the Browns said they wanted a second-round pick. Keep in mind, they drafted this man with the 5th-round selection. He has not played in a regular season NFL game, but yet they want a second-round pick for him. Now, magically before the trade deadline, Shedeur is listed as questionable today due to a back injury and inactive versus the Patriots. And they elevated their practice squad quarterback Bailey Zappe to be QB2. Translation, the Browns never had any intention of playing Shedeur Sanders. Literally listed this man as inactive, so there'd be no chance he could possibly play even if Dillon Gabriel was terrible or got hurt. Browns fans, Kevin Stefanski hates.
Meanwhile, somewhere out there, Jimmy Haslam is probably sipping coffee with a grin, watching the meltdown like a man who just hit the panic button for fun. That's the thing about Haslam. He doesn't just own a football team, he produces one. Every week is a new episode. Who's our quarterback this time? What did the injury report actually mean? Did we accidentally trade our sanity for ratings again? And of course, the timing couldn't be more perfect. Just when Shedeur Sanders was heating up, showing flashes that maybe, just maybe, he was ready to climb the quarterback ladder. Boom! Cleveland finds a way to turn excitement into confusion faster than any team in the league. It's wild, it's hilarious, and it's painfully Cleveland, the only team that can turn an injury report into a national headline overnight. He'd been lighting up training camp, hitting throws so smooth defenders looked like background extras in his highlight reel. Every analyst was saying the same thing.
It seems like Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam has put some pressure on Kevin Stefanski and Dillon Gabriel. Now, the owner has weighed in on this quarterback situation.
Shedeur Sanders is the future, but somehow Cleveland saw all that promise, panicked, and slammed the brakes like optimism was a dangerous disease. You almost have to respect the consistency. No team self-sabotages quite like the Browns. They've mastered the art of turning momentum into meltdown, like it's part of their brand. Of course, when the news dropped, the internet lost its mind. Cleveland Twitter turned into a digital war zone within minutes. Some fans were crying conspiracy, claiming Jimmy Haslam didn't want to pay a hidden bonus that kicked in if Shedeur held that QB2 spot for too long.
Cleveland Browns have lost the game. And we got to talk about the Cleveland Browns once again embarrassing themselves. Another loss, another excuse, and this time they're trying to feed us that Shedeur Sanders had a minor injury, so he had to sit out against the New England.
Others said it was all about protecting a fragile veteran's ego, while a few insisted it was just Cleveland karma, because nothing screams Browns football like your own franchise getting hexed by its ambition. And yes, the jokes came flying too. Fans were posting that Shedeur might have been injured from watching too much film of the Browns' offensive line. Honestly, can you blame them? That kind of trauma leaves a mark. Then came the theories. And oh, there were theories. Fans blamed everything from the turf, to the weather, to an ancient curse buried under the stadium. But the real comedy began when reporters started pressing the Browns staff for answers. What they got back? Corporate gibberish dressed up as communication. The responses were poetry, in the worst possible way. Phrases like managing his health status, evaluating all options, and team first decisions flew around like confetti at a PR convention. You'd think they were launching a new iPhone instead of explaining why the most hyped rookie on the roster was suddenly holding a clipboard. And then there was the scene on the practice field. Shedeur walked out looking like a guy who just found out his Netflix pilot got canceled before the premiere. Helmet off, trying to stay calm, pretending this wasn't humiliating, while every camera lens zoomed in for that million-dollar question.
Quarterback of the Cleveland Browns has been added to the injured list, and he's questionable for tomorrow's game against the New England Patriots. They activated Bailey Zappe, the quarterback, to the active roster. So he'll be elevated to the active roster. Shedeur Sanders has a injured back, and he listed questionable for tomorrow's game. So it's a good possibility that Shedeur may not be available for tomorrow's game. We'll just have to see.
Is he fine or furious? The teammates were pretending not to notice, The coaches were over-explaining every drill, and somewhere up in his luxury suite, Haslam was probably smirking like a man watching his ratings spike. This whole circus might have been survivable if the Browns had just kept it quiet. But of course not. They leaked it midweek, right before the NFL news cycle exploded. It's like they wanted the spotlight on their dysfunction. And let's not forget the emotional wreckage left behind. Cleveland fans have lived through heartbreak, false hope, and heartbreak again. They're like that person who keeps getting "I've changed" texts from their toxic ex, and against their better judgment, they want to believe it. They really do. But then, another stunt like this drops, and it's back to disbelief and disappointment. One week, the team's hyping Shedeur Sanders as the next big thing, the savior of the franchise. And the next week, fans are Googling how to get emotionally detached from your football team. It's tragic, hilarious, and painfully Cleveland. And because Browns fans are built different, they didn't just rage, they created memes. By the end of the night, social media was full of edits comparing Shedeur's mystery injury to famous disappearances in pop culture. You had people joking like it was an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, NFL edition. One meme showed Shedeur Sanders fading away like Thanos snapped his fingers. Poof, gone in a cloud of Cleveland confusion. Another had Jimmy Haslam's face photoshopped onto a mad scientist mashing buttons labeled roster chaos and fan panic. And honestly,
Shedeur is saying, why did you guys make me miss the game? Never negate that part. Shedeur didn't want to sit out this game. He has to go to his professionals, his quote-unquote peers, the doctor for that lowly franchise, the Cleveland Browns. And once again, they sabotaged Shedeur. They told him his injury was so significant, he has to quote-unquote miss this game. The truth is, they're uncomfortable with him being in the second string, and they think he makes Dylan so uncomfortable. This is why Dylan is playing horrible, because Shedeur is right there waiting. So let's just diagnose him with a fake injury again. You know, the same kind of fake injury they did during preseason. They claimed that Shedeur had an oblique injury. All of a sudden, the Cleveland media and press says Shedeur is probably going to miss half of the season.
That one might be the most accurate thing on the internet right now. The Browns roster moves have officially left the world of logic and entered the theater of performance art. Meanwhile, around the league, everyone's watching this unfold like it's some bizarre sociology experiment. The so-called medical updates coming out of Cleveland are so vague you could mistake them for horoscopes. He's progressing day to day. We're monitoring his situation. He'll return when he's ready. Translation? Nobody, not the fans, not the media, probably not even the players, has any clue what's actually happening. But sure, please keep buying tickets and jerseys. At this point, every Browns injury report should come with a disclaimer. All information subject to change depending on mood, weather, or executive confusion.
So Cleveland Browns insider Mary Kay has just reported that Kevin Stefanski is going to stick with Deion Gabriel coming after the bye week. He's still leaving him in after a horrible performance this week, and majority of the other weeks he hasn't thrown for 200 yards, but in one game, 2 interceptions and a safety. Nothing but 2 passes that were over 10 yards in the air. And he's still going to leave him in. This says everything about collusion.
Because truly, every time a Cleveland player gets so much as a paper cut, the organization reacts like it's a full season emotional crisis. And the irony? Oh, it's rich. The Browns spent the entire offseason preaching stability and focus like a motivational seminar. Unity, accountability, long-term vision. And then the first gust of turbulence hits, and they eject their promising young quarterback like he's an unwanted app update. That's the Cleveland way. Promise peace, deliver fireworks. It's practically a franchise motto at this point. And of course, Haslam's defenders showed up right on cue with the excuses. He's protecting the team's investment, they said. He's being proactive. Sure thing. And I'm being proactive by deleting my fantasy team before the Browns ruin it again. Because let's be honest, every few years it ends the same way.
Fire the coach! Fire the coach! We want Shedeur! We want Shedeur! Number 2 is ready! Number 2 is ready! Let him play!
Chaos, confusion, and a mysterious disappearance that nobody can fully explain. Yet somehow, Jimmy Haslam is always right there in the center of it all, like a maestro conducting a full orchestra of madness. Now fans are asking the big question: is this the end of the Shedeur Sanders experiment in Cleveland? Because history doesn't lie. When the Browns pull someone from the QB2 spot, it's rarely temporary. That's usually their not-so-secret code for we'll quietly phase you out and pretend it was mutual. And if that's the case, congratulations, Cleveland. You might have just scared off one of the most promising young quarterbacks in the league before he even got a fair shot.
How Shedeur was at practice yesterday dancing, looking happy, moving smoothly. Then come today, he's on the injury report. Now Bailey Zappi is getting elevated to number 2. Y'all, this is not no coincidence. Y'all, first, Kevin Stefanski come out this week and say he has not been getting no reps with the first-string players when Deion Gabriel was getting the first-string reps when Joe Flacco was a starter. How sway? Man, I hate the Browns organization. I hate Kevin Stefanski, y'all. I'm over this shit. I'll bite my hands with this shit, y'all. Why give my energy to this shit, y'all? They dog walked him. They used his name. They used his face. And then y'all treated him the worst and didn't even give him a
The thing about Shedeur Sanders is that he's built different. He's got that rare mix of poise, charisma, and leadership. The exact qualities the Browns always say they want, but never seem to handle when they actually have them. He doesn't crumble under pressure. He feeds off it. He plays like he was born for big moments. And yet, here we are again, watching the franchise that desperately needs a spark somehow extinguish its own flame. All because of another confusing report that probably started as a misunderstanding and snowballed into chaos. Still, there's a strange, dark humor to all of this. Cleveland's football DNA is pure chaos. It's who they are. At this point, the Browns having a calm, drama-free season would probably send the whole city into shock. They'd have to invent new scandals just to feel alive again.
Rappaport put this tweet out about an hour ago. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam also weighed in on his team's quarterback, saying 3 games for Deion Gabriel is not a great sample size and that the team wants to see more. He also said that Shedeur is making progress in practice, so we're going to continue to work with both of those guys. Thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't really have a ton because it kind of makes sense. It's him saying exactly what he should say. Shedeur's progressing as...
And Jimmy Haslam, he's the perfect ringmaster. A man who runs his franchise like a circus act, spinning the wheel of fate just to see which position collapses next. Either way, Cleveland's PR team better start stretching because they're about to run the spin cycle harder than ever. The headlines are multiplying, the questions are flying, and through it all, Shedeur Sanders stays calm in the middle of the storm. No tantrums, no cryptic social media posts, no passive-aggressive jabs, just pure composure and quiet professionalism. And somehow, that makes this whole situation even funnier. Because while the front office is tossing darts blindfolded, the kid sitting on the sideline looks like the only adult in the room. It's almost poetic. The rookie's keeping his cool while the higher-ups lose theirs. The moral of the story? Cleveland just can't help itself. The Browns could be handed a golden opportunity, a franchise quarterback, a stable roster, a clear path to success, and somehow they'd still find a way to fumble the plot.
All of a sudden, bro, injured from what? Y'all just said he didn't get the reps. What the fuck is he getting injured from? Yesterday, what'd he do? Yesterday, I just seen the video of him dancing, y'all. I'm dead ass just watching the video of him dancing. But y'all gotta think outside the box. New England was gonna put belt to ass to Sunday, right or wrong. It was gonna become a blowout. Then, guess who he was gonna have to put in? Him. He was gonna have to put him in. Come on, y'all. I'm not no fucking fool, y'all. I've seen Stefanski and the Browns try to finesse Shedeur every single way.
It's not bad luck anymore. It's muscle memory. So here we are again. Another season, another quarterback controversy, another round of confusion served hot from Jimmy Haslam's kitchen of chaos. The injury report says uncertain. The fans say unbelievable. And the rest of the NFL, they're just laughing, shaking their heads and saying, classic Browns. You can almost hear the echo of rival fan bases chuckling across the internet. But maybe, just maybe, That's Cleveland's secret legacy. They're not just playing football, they're producing entertainment. Not by hoisting Lombardi trophies, but by redefining what chaos football really looks like. Every season is a soap opera, every press conference a plot twist, and every injury report a mystery wrapped in memes. And as the dust finally settles, Shedeur Sanders' name will still be trending, not because of what he did wrong, but because of what Cleveland couldn't handle. A little hope, a little promise, and a quarterback who deserved better than becoming another plot twist in Jimmy Haslam's never-ending football circus. Because in Cleveland, even an injury report isn't just an update. It's a drama, a mystery, and a meme all rolled into one. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this story isn't over yet. And if history's any clue, the next episode of Browns Chaos is just around the corner.